All right. So yeah, Noel Gallagher's problem with Arctic Monkeys, this is called. Yeah, basically I saw some quotes from Noel this week, um, which I thought were interesting. So should we read a couple of articles about it, basically? Um, so Noel Gallagher doesn't have a filter. The former Oasis man will blurt out whatever is on whatever is on his mind, acting as a contemporary culture provocateur at the forefront of British music. Everyone from Taylor Swift to Jay-Z has felt Gallagher's wrath, but somewhat surprisingly, so too have Arctic Monkeys. This century, no other British band has imparted an impression on modern music comparable with Arctic Monkeys. Oasis are the last band to enjoy similar seismic rise, and the sustained longevity of the Sheffield four-piece eclipses that of Gallagher's. Well, this was 2021, so a bit of a different landscape. However, Noel is not particularly keen on the group that picked up the baton from his own outfit. At the start of their career, Arctic Monkeys were initially tipped as the heirs to Oasis' throne, but the versatile touch they've shown since and the continuous innovation of their sound has put an end to any resemblance between the two acts. For Noel, it's not the music that he detests, but seemingly it's their attitude. Yeah, so what I saw was that Noel was having a pop at Turner's interview style, but anyway, see what they say, see what he says here. Nobody has anything to say. Have you noticed that? Gallagher once said, Gallagher once said, what we're left with now is Arctic Monkeys, tax dodgers. Does that mean they're based in America? Don't really know what that was referring to. He added during an interview with the Irish Times in 2015, it freaks me out. The charts used to be a great battleground, and when I first started in Oasis, I couldn't effing wait to get amongst it. Now I don't even know where my first sing. Now I don't even know where my first single got to in the charts because I'm not interested anymore. Yeah, I'm not interested in it. Fuck you know. Not interested anymore. Bollocks is what it is. Britpop will never happen again. Too many drug addicts, maniacs, and people in jeans with long hair not washing and shit like that. Well, there is now, you mean? What he means, right? On a different occasion, Gallagher claimed that his cat is more rock and roll, has more rock and roll credentials than Alex Turner, the frontman of Arctic Monkeys. This new generation of rock stars, they look great. Alex Turner, Miles Kane, the guys from Royal Blood. They've got effing skinny jeans and the boots and all the eyeliner, he said. I've got a cat that's more rock and roll than all of them put together. Pigeons rips their effing heads off. I go back to this. Fame is effing wasted on these people. I remember, and then this bit where he has a pop at Tranquility Base. I remember this, but I'll read what he said. Meanwhile, speaking in 2018, Gallagher criticised their sixth album, Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. He told Radio X, "Do you know what? I've just been listening to it in the car today on the way here, and I don't know what to make of it. No, you'd expect a few choruses, and it hasn't got any of them. I mean, it was a bit of a grow with that album, but I mean, it's just like it's arguably technically better than Noel's anything. Arguably technically better than anything Noel's ever done. So that'll rage better a few people, but it's probably true. I'm not saying, I'm not saying technically it's about, I'm not saying music is about technique, so to speak, but it just is better in a lot of ways to stuff he's done. Not saying it has the same impact or whatever, but anyway. Understandably, Turner has always risen above the public insults, whether those public tirades attempt to goad him about the way he elects to dress or his decision not to write anthemic choruses. If it came to a verbal sparring match between the two, only one is coming out on top, and the hesitation in responding to Gallagher's comments is likely a wise decision. And the hesitation in responding to Gallagher's comments is likely a wise decision. I mean, the Gallaghers, like Liam and Noel, just seem to know who they are more than Alex Turner, I would say. Like I remember a quote from Liam Gallagher saying he knew who he was from like an early age, which I always admired if true. When I mean you do get that impression, obviously, quite you know headstrong or whatever, wasn't he, as a young person. Whereas Alex Turner, I don't know. I think these different guises he has probably lend itself well to the music he's creating or whatever. But I think it's also because like they're the formative years in the spotlight, so to speak. You can argue Oasis did, but I mean, I think Noel was. no, like mid to late 20s when Oasis took off. So I think, yeah, I don't know. I think Noel is like much more comfortable with who he is, or definitely was when this was written. Well, yeah, obviously he probably is now with all the cash flowing in. But yeah, different characters for sure. What else did it say? Conversely, Turner has heaped praise on Oasis and revealed that the first incarnation of Arctic Monkeys was a childhood tribute to Gallagher brothers, stating when we left primary school, all the kids would form groups and do a performance like the girls would do a dance to the Spice Girls, whatever. So me and Matt Helders and some of our friends put on Morning Glory and we played some tennis rackets and pretended to be Oasis. Matt was Liam Gallagher, he had the bucket hat on, and I was the bass player. We were just standing there doing what Oasis did on stage, which is not a great deal. I don't think we got as good a reaction as the Spice Girls. Elaborating on his elaborating on his love of Oasis, Turner said, "With Oasis, it's just that attitude, like it's resistant against everything else that goes on in music. I don't know if I don't know if you can fully understand that. It's like an impulse, isn't it? Especially at that age. You don't rationalize. You're just like, that looks cool. Yeah, it's just like an energy about Oasis, isn't it? I think that's what it means, like an attitude, yeah. Which is fair play. Right, I'm gonna go to a second article now. So I'm just gonna stop sharing this and do this. 6 viewers, we are flying. Right, F11. Okay, let's share again. This is so smooth. Um, that's right, isn't it? Yeah. Right. No, Gallagher. Well, I mean, this is even before. I should have probably done this in reverse order because this is even before the last article. Noel Gallagher defends Alex Turner comments his interviews are lackluster. So yeah, this is what I was reading again this week. And like this comment here, the singer previously said that he would rather drink petrol from the nozzle than listen to the Arctic Monkeys frontman. I mean, what a statement that is. Where do you even come up with? Where do you even come up with that? That is just madness. Noel Gallagher has reiterated that he finds Alex Turner boring and said that nobody he criticizes should take offense as he never makes things personal. So it's more of a general thing about people he has a pop at as well. Gallagher recently stated that he'd rather drink petrol from the nozzle than listen to Arctic Monkeys frontman give another interview. Speaking in the new issue of NME, which is on newsstands now, back in 2015, Noel explains his thinking about the outspoken comments he makes about other musicians. What is there to be offended about? Gallagher said. I never say anything about their persona. I don't diss anybody's character. Alex Turner wouldn't be offended by that, would he? I guess he could be by the headlines because they're like, Noel calls Queen, Noel calls Queen a C. What? But I was just talking about their rock star interviews in general. Okay, so you had a pop at Queen as well. Alex is a effing top dude in an effing top band, so that's praise from Noel Gallagher, isn't it? And a very attractive man. His interviews, on the other hand, are lackluster. I mean, I do think, Turner is obviously right up there with Noel Gallagher for me. I mean, like, Oasis fans will probably get annoyed about that. But I mean, he's obviously in the same ballpark, if not better. Like, I'd argue that he's better in some ways. I think I don't know, I think Arctic Monkeys have managed to, I don't think they've released a bad album. And they keep like progressing. Where I don't think, you can argue Oasis didn't do that. And this no solo stuff isn't that interesting, I don't think. Um, but anyway, so I think there must be a bit of ego going on. I think, I think because Noel Gallagher would surely like to think that he's like that he's out in front of the last 30 years in terms of British songwriters. It's probably only, well, obviously, I guess you got Blair up there as well, but I think it's widely considered that Oasis had an edge on Blair. So I don't know. Obviously, with the Oasis coming back now and playing these massive shows, they would probably feel like the absolute nuts and that no one can touch them again, which is hard to argue with, I suppose, if you're interested in that kind of thing. Anyway, it goes on. It's even worse for solo artists, he argued. But if someone says effing Noel Gallagher's shit, they're not saying I'm shit, they're saying my music's shit. And you can't be a fan of everybody's music, can you? I stand by everything I ever said. That's fair enough. I think it should be more honesty about not being. Well, you don't have to, suppose you don't have to like, um, you don't have to have a pop at people, but it's all right to be not interested in stuff. I'm not sure you need to come out and say it's, so and so's rubbish. I mean, I suppose it creates content for people, doesn't it? And it's undeniably entertaining sometimes, but I don't know, music's quite sanitized these days, isn't it? In terms of like social media and everything. I think people are quite worried about putting their opinions out there on stuff most of the time, apart from a few rare instances in terms of big acts anyway. Got a comment from Melvin Dobbs on the live. It is true that Turner lost his accent over the years. Yeah, you're not wrong, Melvin. I think felt deliberate as well, didn't it? Seemed to be almost overnight a little bit on the turn of like the AM era, Suck It and See era, maybe. Um, I don't. It never particularly bothered me, but I mean, you would. It would be good if he was a bit more. I don't know. It would be like a bit like more relaxed in interviews, maybe. Just like he's never really has a laugh in him, does he? Like even Julian Casablancas now has a bit of a laugh in interviews when he can. When they always got criticised for being a bit stiff or uninterested. He does say part he stands by everything he said apart from when um, he wished illness upon Alex James and Damon Albarn, which I won't go into, but yeah, I think probably all seen that before. I find it odd when bands say it's such an honour to be a bunch of C's. So I think is what he's saying here is like people now say it's an honour to be. It's like yeah, an honour to be slagged off by Oasis, which he's not a fan of, but it's because that's because people are saying it's a bit of a parody of itself, aren't they? But it's saying I find it odd when bands say it's such an honour to be a bunch of C's. I read something in a magazine where a guy from Bastille said it was such a fantastic honour that I said in an interview in the 90s. I said it in an interview that in the 90s I would have taken him out after one interview. I just thought you fucking dick. Earlier today it was revealed that Alt J said they have made it after being criticised by Gallagher for their facial hair choices. Alt J recently became the latest victims of Gallagher's sharp tongue, with the former Oasis man admitting that he can't accept the choices in facial hair. Focusing on what annoys him about the band most, he added, "One of them's got a mustache, and that's unacceptable." But yeah, it has become like that now, isn't it? Like people won't like bite back to one of Noel's slams. They'll just say, "Oh, it's an honour," or Liam, for that matter. They'll just say, "Oh, it's just an honour to get slated by him." You've made it when you're getting slated by Oasis, which I think there's probably is an element of truth in that, I suppose. Don't know. Anyway, just thought I'd revisit that. I've not really done a No Gallagher on Arctic Monkeys vid before. Thought I'd try it on the live. Got one comment from Melvin on the live, so we'll take that. But yeah, what do you make of it? Well, who do you rank higher in terms of British songwriters? Do you think No Gallagher's got the edge on Turner or the other way around? Think you can finish it off?